Yes, I'm Dr. Rosenberg. Although I'm not very proud to admit it, seeing as though I'm partially responsible for all of this.
Yes, yes.
How did you know my name? Oh, I see. Poor Harold. Yes, our plan was to get to one of the old prototype labs. It involved something that very few people in the facility are authorized to know about. The same technology that brought about this catastrophe could also be our only way out. You see, I was involved in the very early work on teleporter technology, long before the Lambda complex was even built. There may be enough equipment in the old lab to piece together a device that would allow us to teleport outside of the facility. As improbable as that may sound to someone like yourself. Of course, none of that does a whole lot of good while we're stuck in here. Perhaps I could help boost you through that vent in the ceiling.
Yes.
If you're lucky, you might be able to take those soldiers by surprise.
Yes.
Let's try this.
Squad, recon hostiles. Go, recon. Go. Move in. Let's go. Let's go. Go, recon. Shit, recon.
All right. Now we'll need to head back to the area where you met Harold. The access to the old lab should still be there, but we may have to break through some of the newer construction to get to it. All right, let's stick together.
לא יודע איך אני אצליח לשמור עליו. כבר נאבדתי.
I need to rest a bit before I could go on.
מה? איפה אתה? בוא לפה.
Lead the way, Calhoun.
בוא, תפור. איזה רסט בראש שלך, אנשים מתים. בוא, אחי, בוא.
Recon team, jet in.
Lead the way, Calhoun. All right, let's hope we don't run into any more of those.
עוד תבוא איתי.
Yes, here it is. We'll need to break through this to get to the elevator. Let's get going.
קודם כל.
We should have chosen the Lambda reactor for an escape, but the crew there is bent on fighting the creatures. Their hopes set on someone named Freeman. Let those fools try and fight a battle they can't win. I just want to get out of here.
אתה בא? אני כל רגע צריך...
Yes, let's go.
אני כל רגע צריך להגיד לו לבוא.
Well, I hope the old security system is still active. With any luck, my fingerprint ID is still valid and on file.
Dr. Rosenberg, thank God you made it. We've managed to piece together some of the larger equipment, but you'll need to oversee the rest of the construction.
Excellent, Walter. Finish aligning the power cell matrix, and I'll see if I can get the system online in the main room. Now, there's no time to waste.
מה הוא פתח?
Well, it looks like the equipment is in better shape than I expected. Unfortunately, this older technology does not have the ability to target an Earth destination in its current state. You see, Mr. Calhoun, teleportation isn't as easy as going from point A to point B. We've discovered a strange border world that was somehow involved in the process, which kept us from accurately predicting where any given teleportation event would lead to back on Earth. Some of the more promising research on the matter led to a device that could be attached to the strange crystalline structures we found on this border world. Now, this device would then be used as a focal point and a relay to aid in the teleportation. Well, in theory, that is. We lost contact with the survey group shortly after the device was in place. We later discovered other methods of aiming the field, but all of the equipment in this lab uses the older technology. In order for any of us to get out of here alive, someone will have to go to the border world and activate the device. I'm afraid you're the only one who can do this, seeing as how everyone else will be needed to operate the equipment. We should be able to get you fairly close to where the survey team had set up, but I fear the likelihood of running into alien creatures is very high. Once you find the device, simply power it on and align the emitters until the signal reaches maximum strength. We'll reopen the teleporter for your return once we receive the signal, but you must hurry back, as we can only keep it open for a short amount of time. All right, I'm going to initiate the teleporter charging sequence now. Be ready, Mr. Calhoun. Once the field is open, it will become unstable very quickly. Simmons, can you hear me? It's ready. We're almost there. The primary capacitors have reached full charge. Simmons, release the damping locks and open the field.
פה אין כלום.
Hurry! He teleported. Hurry! The teleporter charge is running out. Good job, Mr. Calhoun. He began to worry when you didn't come back for some time, but it looks as though you were able to get the device operational. The signal we're getting is very strong, but I'm afraid I have some bad news. The power reserves were just enough to open the field for your trip to the border world. If we plan on keeping the teleporter open long enough to calculate a safe exit point and allow time for everyone to go through, someone will have to go to the lower level and retrieve another power cell. A few of our colleagues went down there a while ago, but we haven't heard from them since. I can only fear for the worst. I hate to keep putting you in this position, but you must realize that if someone doesn't go down there, then none of us will get out of here alive. Besides, you're the best equipped to deal with any dangers that may be waiting. Here, I'll show you to the access elevator that leads to the power generator. Follow me. Here we are. Down below are the old power generators that were used to service this lab. You should find what we're looking for down there. Once you've located a new power cell, make sure it's charged and send it up the freight lift. Good luck.
Sir, I can take it. Those things, they're everywhere. We've got to get out of here. Pull yourself together. If we don't get the power cell charged, we're all going to die. Look out! Get out of here. I can take
אני לא יכול לראות גם דרך הדבר הזה. תפתח לי.